The reason you keep failing isn't laziness. It's the version of you that keeps negotiating with comfort. There is a version of you that only shows up when excuses stop working, when nobody is clapping, when discipline replaces motivation. And if you met that version today, he would unsettle you. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's routines or motivation or willpower. But discipline is the moment you stop asking how you feel and start doing what must be done. Machiavelli understood this truth long before modern psychology. Power begins when weakness loses its voice. He didn't write for moral approval. He wrote for survival in a chaotic world where softness is punished and consistency creates dominance. True discipline is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't seek validation. It moves silently and lets outcomes speak. That silence alone makes people uneasy because disciplined individuals cannot be rushed, guilted, or emotionally manipulated. You are here because you're exhausted in a way sleep can't fix, tired of starting strong and collapsing quietly, tired of promising yourself change and wanting yourself betray that promise again. What you need isn't motivation, it's a change in identity. This isn't self-help, it's self-replacement. The first Machiavellian principle is silence. Weak men broadcast their intentions. Strong men observe. The average person leaks plans, emotions, and goals before doing the work, hoping for approval, and that pressure release is exactly why they fail. Silence builds force. When you stop explaining yourself, people project onto you. They wonder what you're doing, why you don't need their attention, and that uncertainty protects you. Work quietly. Correct mistakes privately, grow without witnesses, disappear long enough to become unfamiliar even to yourself, then return without explanation. The second principle is emotional control, not emotional numbness. Disciplined people feel everything. They simply refuse to obey it. Machiavelli knew leaders are not ruled by emotion. They weaponize it. Motivation fades, passion dies, but duty doesn't care how you feel. When action becomes independent of emotion, you become unpredictable. You don't slow down when tired. You don't quit when hurt. You don't collapse when life applies pressure. You treat feelings like weather, acknowledged but irrelevant to the mission. The third shift is isolation, not loneliness, but isolation with intent. Most people fear being alone because silence tells the truth. When distractions disappear, reality speaks. Growth requires distance. As you rise, people will say you changed, that you're cold, obsessed, distant. But growth always offends comfort. You're not here to entertain, you're here to master yourself. Isolation sharpens perception. Discipline sharpens will. The fourth rule is unpredictability. Undisciplined people are easy to read. They react, complain, fold. Disciplined people pause, analyze, execute. That lack of reaction unsettles manipulators because their tools stop working. Consistency becomes fear, not loud fear, quiet fear. The kind that comes from knowing you cannot be distracted, rushed, or broken. Then comes standards. You don't fail from lack of talent. You fail from low standards. This world is designed to make you soft, comfortable, distracted, and addicted. Discipline today is rebellion. Raise the floor of what you tolerate. Stop rewarding effort instead of results. Guard your time like it's sacred, because it is. Scarcity creates value, and discipline creates scarcity. Finally comes the death of the old self. You cannot become powerful without killing the version of yourself that needs approval, comfort, and permission. Your past self will whisper when things get hard, suggesting delay, escape, relief. You must be ruthless. This is war. If the old identity survives, it will sabotage the new one. Machiavelli knew exile and silence create clarity. Discipline is the one thing that cannot be taken from you. Status, money, reputation can disappear, but endurance remains. When you master yourself, anxiety fades, confidence becomes calm, and fear loses its grip because preparation replaces hope. This path is cold and lonely, but it is real freedom. You must choose between the comfort of the herd and the control of the self. One offers warmth, the other offers power. Once you step onto this path, something subtle begins to change inside you. You stop needing external pressure because internal order replaces chaos. Machiavelli believed that the strongest rulers governed themselves first, because a man who cannot command his own impulses will always be ruled by others. Most people live at the mercy of urges, hunger, comfort, validation, distraction, and that makes them predictable. Predictability is weakness. Discipline breaks that pattern. When you wake up and move before your mind starts arguing, when you act before emotion interferes, you begin to build authority over yourself. Authority is felt, not announced. People sense it in your posture, in your patience, in how little you explain. You no longer rush to prove anything because discipline removes the need for recognition. Another shift happens in how you view pain. Pain stops being an enemy and becomes information. Discomfort becomes a signal that you are operating at the edge of growth. Machiavelli understood that suffering does not destroy power. Avoidance does. When you voluntarily choose difficulty, difficulty loses its control over you. This is why disciplined people appear calm in chaos. They have rehearsed hardship privately. They have suffered in silence. While others panic, they calculate. While others seek comfort, they seek position. Slowly, your environment starts reacting to you differently. People speak more carefully around you. They hesitate before wasting your time. Not because you demand respect, but because discipline commands it. You become selective, not out of arrogance, but out of clarity. Your standards rise naturally. You stop chasing, explaining, defending. You move with intent. And intent is frightening to a world addicted to distraction. Over time, discipline reshapes identity. You are no longer someone who hopes to be strong. You are someone who functions under pressure. You are no longer driven by emotion, but guided by principle. Machiavelli knew that control without noise is the most stable form of power. It does not draw attention, it draws outcomes. This is where freedom begins. Not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom from needing to. When desire no longer controls action, action becomes precise. You become calm, deliberate, and difficult to influence. This is not a transformation others will celebrate. It is one they will quietly respect and secretly fear. Most people misunderstand discipline because they approach it emotionally. They wait to feel motivated, inspired, or ready. Machiavelli knew this was a fatal mistake. Emotion is unstable, and anything built on instability eventually collapses. Discipline begins the moment you stop asking how you feel and start acting on what must be done. This shift is subtle but dangerous. When feelings lose authority over your actions, you reclaim power most people never touch. The average person lives at the mercy of mood, appetite, fear, and approval. Their behavior changes with circumstances, which makes them predictable. Predictability is weakness, Discipline breaks predictability. It trains you to move forward even when comfort disappears. At first, this feels unnatural, even harsh, but over time, resistance fades and structure takes its place. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making excuses sound reasonable. You act because action has become identity, not effort. As discipline deepens, something unexpected happens. Silence enters your life, not emptiness, but clarity. You begin to notice how loud the world is and how much of that noise is unnecessary. Machiavelli understood that noise is a tool used by the weak to appear important. The disciplined individual does not need noise. He does not rush to speak, explain, or defend. He waits. Waiting is not hesitation. It is observation. While others reveal intentions through emotional reaction, you remain unreadable. This creates imbalance. People are uncomfortable around what they cannot predict. They test it. They provoke it. And when there is no reaction, their leverage disappears. Discipline turns restraint into armor, not visible, not dramatic, but effective. With time, discipline reshapes your perception of power. You realize power is not dominance over others. It is independence from them. When praise no longer excites you and criticism no longer destabilizes you, control shifts inward. Machiavelli warned that men become enslaved the moment they outsource their self-worth. Discipline pulls it back. You measure yourself by standards, not opinions. This makes you difficult to manipulate because manipulation requires emotional entry points. When those points are closed, pressure loses direction. You stop chasing validation because your direction is already clear. You stop arguing because arguments are distractions disguised as importance. You move quietly, deliberately, and without announcement. Eventually, discipline changes how people experience you. Your presence becomes heavier without becoming aggressive. You do not demand space, you create it. You do not compete for attention, you withdraw from it. This withdrawal is misunderstood by many as arrogance or coldness, but it is neither. It is selectivity. Machiavelli believed that access is the highest form of power. When everyone has access to you, you are cheap. When access is limited, value rises. Discipline teaches you to guard your time, your energy, and your focus with precision. You become harder to reach, not out of ego, but out of purpose. At its highest level, discipline produces something rare: inevitability. Results stop feeling lucky and start feeling earned. Progress compounds quietly. Fear loses influence because preparation replaces hope. You are no longer afraid of loss because you trust your ability to rebuild. You are no longer afraid of chaos because structure lives inside you. This is the edge Machiavelli understood, but rarely spoke openly about. Power does not arrive loudly. It forms silently through repetition, restraint, and control. And when it arrives, it does not ask permission. It is simply there. Most people believe control comes from strength, money, or status, but Machiavelli saw the truth clearly. Control comes from understanding human nature, especially your own. The average person is ruled by impulse. Hunger decides when they stop working. Boredom decides when they quit. Emotion decides when they speak. This makes them easy to read and easy to manipulate. Discipline breaks this pattern. When you begin to delay gratification, when you deny yourself comfort even when it is available, you start reclaiming authority over your own mind. Authority changes posture. It slows speech. It sharpens judgment. You stop reacting instantly because you no longer need relief. Relief is a drug, and most people are addicted to it. They scroll to escape thought. They talk to escape silence. They consume to escape emptiness. Discipline forces you to sit with discomfort long enough for clarity to emerge. Machiavelli understood that men reveal their weaknesses not through words, but through habits. If you want power over yourself, study your habits. Notice where you fold. Notice where you escape. Those are the pressure points that keep you small. Each time you resist an impulse, even a small one, you weaken the chains that bind you. Over time, resistance becomes instinct. Most people believe control comes from strength, money, or status. But Machiavelli saw the truth clearly. Control comes from understanding human nature, especially your own. The average person is ruled by impulse. Hunger decides when they stop working. Boredom decides when they quit. Emotion decides when they speak. This makes them easy to read and easy to manipulate. Discipline breaks this pattern. When you begin to delay gratification, when you deny yourself comfort even when it is available, you start reclaiming authority over your own mind. Authority changes posture. It slows speech. It sharpens judgment. You stop reacting instantly because you no longer need relief. Relief is a drug, and most people are addicted to it. They scroll to escape thought. They talk to escape silence. They consume to escape emptiness. Discipline forces you to sit with discomfort long enough for clarity to emerge. Machiavelli understood that men reveal their weaknesses not through words, but through habits. If you want power over yourself, study your habits. Notice where you fold. Notice where you escape. Those are the pressure points that keep you small. Each time you resist an impulse, even a small one, you weaken the chains that bind you. Over time, resistance becomes instinct. You no longer feel heroic for being disciplined. It simply feels normal. And that is when real power begins. When control stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like baseline. As discipline deepens, your relationship with people begins to change in ways you didn't plan but can't avoid. You speak less, not because you have nothing to say, but because most conversations offer no advantage. You listen more. You observe patterns. Machiavelli warned that men are quick to pledge loyalty, but quicker to abandon it when circumstances shift. Discipline teaches you this lesson personally. When you stop needing validation, some people disappear. When you stop explaining yourself, others become uncomfortable. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. Weak connections dissolve under pressure. Strong ones remain. You begin to understand that access is power. Not everyone deserves your energy, your time, or your presence. Most people give these away freely, and then wonder why they feel drained. Discipline introduces boundaries without drama. You stop reacting to disrespect because you no longer seek approval. You stop arguing because arguments are for those trying to win emotionally, not strategically. This quiet withdrawal is often misunderstood as arrogance, but it is simply focus. Machiavelli believed that a ruler must conserve resources, and the most valuable resource you possess is attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. When you reclaim it, you stop living reactively and start moving deliberately. This is when people sense something different about you. Not aggression, not ego, but gravity. Discipline eventually changes how you experience time. The average person feels rushed, pressured, always behind. They live inside deadlines and distractions. The disciplined individual lives ahead of time. Preparation replaces anxiety. Routine replaces chaos. Machiavelli believed that fortune favors those who are ready before opportunity arrives. Discipline is readiness made permanent. You no longer depend on motivation because motivation is unreliable. You depend on systems. Systems do not negotiate. They execute. This is where long-term advantage forms. While others surge and collapse, you move steadily forward. Slowly at first, then suddenly. Results appear inevitable, not impressive. And inevitability is more threatening than talent. Talent invites comparison. Inevitability ends it. By the time people notice your progress, the foundation is already too strong to challenge. This is the quiet power of discipline. It does not seek attention. It waits for outcomes to speak. At this stage, discipline stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like identity. You no longer ask who you want to become because your actions have already answered that question. Machiavelli understood that power is not seized in moments of intensity. It is accumulated through consistency. Most people look strong when conditions are easy and collapse when pressure arrives. Disciplined people reverse that equation. They become sharper under stress, quieter under praise, colder under chaos. This is where true control forms. You stop reacting to provocation. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining decisions that already make sense to you. This is dangerous because society is built on emotional reactions. When you remove reaction, you remove leverage. People can no longer predict how to move you, pressure you, or manipulate you. Your calm becomes unsettling. Your patience feels heavy. Your presence changes rooms without effort. You begin to understand that freedom is not happiness, it is control. Control over time, impulses, attention, and fear. Machiavelli warned that men lose power the moment they confuse comfort with safety. Comfort dulls awareness. Discipline sharpens it. You see patterns others miss. You hear intentions behind words. You move earlier, quieter, and with precision. You stop wasting energy on arguments, explanations, and emotional battles that lead nowhere. Your life becomes smaller on the outside and stronger on the inside. Fewer people, fewer words, clearer goals, harder standards. This is why disciplined men are misunderstood. They are not loud, they are not flashy, they are not desperate to be seen. They are building leverage while others seek attention. Over time, this creates inevitability. Results compound. Confidence stabilizes. Fear loses its grip because preparation replaces hope. You no longer fear loss because you trust your ability to rebuild. You no longer fear rejection because approval is no longer currency. You no longer fear chaos because you have learned to function inside it. This is the Machiavellian edge. Silent strength, controlled aggression, patience without weakness. You don't dominate others, you dominate yourself, and that mastery echoes outward. People feel it even if they can't explain it. They step aside, they hesitate, they watch. Not because you demand respect, but because discipline has made you immovable. You have become proof that power does not announce itself. It simply arrives. Subscribe if you want to keep mastering this cold psychology of self-control, discipline, and power that separates rulers from the ruled.